Welcome to part 12, but it's actually going to be posted as part 11 because I'm going to make that Donny Osmond as a separate Donny Osmond one and not actually part 11 as I filmed it. But part 12, part 11, whatever you want to call it, this is going to wrap up the pink and blue disco cases. And we're going to get right into it so I can burn through these. I grabbed a couple extras that weren't on the spindle either just to make sure we can fill out an episode. But we got Blood Rock here doing DOA. And we're going to go through these rather quick because there's not too many of them here that I have much to say about because it's not stuff I know. Hopefully you might. Spark a memory or two for you. But Children's Heritage being on the flip side of that one. And here's one of the few here. That's a band that I know of and have heard of, the Partridge Family, with Shirley Jones and David Cassidy doing Doesn't Somebody Want to Be Wanted? And the flip side of that was a song, You Are Always on My Mind. And I don't think that's the song that comes to mind when I hear that title, because I do have a tune that goes along with that, but I don't think it's the same one, so I'm not going to sing it. Here we've got Yellow Hand, again, something I've never heard of. Down to the Wire, written by Neil Young. So this is probably the B-side, doing a cover of a Neil Young song. But Yellow Hand doing God Knows I Love You. And there's that Dee Bramlett name that I do recognize, and M. Davis could be somebody I'm familiar with, but I'm not sure. So either one of these could be the A-side. All I've really heard of here is Neil Young for the most part. And then I know Pink, but I don't know the King, King Floyd. What Our Love Needs on Chimneyville Records. And it's in mono, glorious high fidelity mono. And the flip side here is another tune in mono called Groove Me. Written by King Floyd, sung by King Floyd, but like I said, I don't know him from Pink. Next up, we've got Brotherly Love, the main ingredient. And on the other side, we've got the main ingredient doing I'm So Proud from the Tasteful Soul album. Well, I know the Wheatful Soul. Mayfield, I don't know if that's Curtis. Quite possibly could be. But there again, we're into stuff here that is completely out of my element. And I'm just filming them and sharing them for the sake of completeness. This was the stuff out of the pink and blue disco cases that I just didn't know. The tea set doing Mama Belle Ami. My Mama Belle is an ELO song for me in my book. The tea set again with Angels Coming in the Holy Night. So, yeah, no, nothing I recognize, but there again, cool label to see, nice 3D logo there, pretty cool. I like this one too. This one's got a really cool, Volt Records, and the Dramatics in the Rain is actually a division of Stack Records in 1972. So, but yeah, it's not something that I know. And the flip side of that is the Dramatics doing good soul music. What you see is what you get. So, yeah, I'm hoping that this sparks some memories for some of you out there. And, but me, this is largely this whole episode, all the way through the remainder of this spindle, and this will be the final episode, one way or the other. Stuff that I'm not real familiar with. Now, Bobby Sherman, I've heard of. I do know Bobby Sherman. But the drum, that's not a song that I'm familiar with. And the flip side of that's From Now to Rome. From Now to Rome. All right. You say so. Now, Billy Joe Royal is also an artist I have heard of. I think he's country. Cherry Hill Park. It was a part of Debbie's original collection. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Billy Joe Royal was a country artist. And the flip side of that is a song called Helping Hand. Again, nothing I'm familiar with. And then here's someone that, I try not to talk bad about because I always get thumbs downs when I do. But not a fan of Rod Stewart. But here's him doing a song called Better Off Dead. 1980. I don't know. Maybe this was in the film Better Off Dead with John Cusack. Don't know. That's a film that's on my list of things I want to see but have not seen. But it's listed as being off his Foolish Behavior album, not off of a soundtrack. So anybody's guess there. Feel free to comment in the comment section and fill me in with any info that you may know or anything you want to share to clue me in. But the flip side of this is a song called Passion, also noted as being off of his Foolish Behavior album. All right, now here we got a band that I do know very well, the Supremes. And again, it's not noted as having Diana Ross, so I don't know if she's on this or not. But it's 1966, so I'd pretty much venture she has to be. There's no stopping us now. And there's a cutout hole in that, so as there were quite a number of discs in these two spindles that had cutout holes in them. Flip side of that, also 1966, Love Is Here and Now You're Gone. So, might be a little hard to see that with that silver print and that label wear. I'll try and get them in the light better. Didn't really take notes, see if I got that one in there visible enough for you all either to see. Here we've got Stevie Wonder, If You Really Love Me. Yeah. Well, I like Stevie, we've discussed him recently. Nothing against Stevie Wonder, but I don't know that song, and I don't know Think of Me as Your Soldier either. But Motown Records from 1970, so it's right around the height of his career, or right on the edge of it. Now here's another B.J. Thomas. We had an earlier B.J. Thomas that I didn't recognize either. Everybody's Out of Town on Scepter Records. I'm pretty sure this is the A side because it's Burt Bacharach wrote it. It's got the stars, which is usually an indicator that that's an A side. A lot of the times they did those, especially on DJ copies, when they wanted the DJ to know which side they wanted them promoting or playing on the radio. So the B side, which, hey, look, it is clearly marked as the B side there, is Living Again. And that was number 37 in somebody's collection at some point in time. Showing this side again, you can see the A to go along with those stars. So just another way of them pointing out the A side. And then another little Ricky Nelson here. We had a couple of his in these spindles. And this is the song Stood Up. Now, we have at this point finished what was in the blue disco case. These extra ones that I have here that just to fill out, these are some that I had off to the side that came out of other mixed boxes that were largely dance, disco, and or country. So these are just some that I had that I could use to fill up this episode. So the blue case is actually finalized at this point. But a song called Stood Up that I don't know. And the flip side of that being a song called Waiting in School that I don't know. But we've all heard of Ricky Nelson, right? Here we got the Fifth Dimension, which I have heard of the Fifth Dimension, but I have not heard of If I Could Reach You. 1972, at least it's still from the same time period as all this other stuff that we've done in these last 12 episodes. Tomorrow Belongs to the Children. So, I don't know that song either. So, and this one here is a promo copy. So this might be special for somebody out there. If you know Candy Staton. And Here I Am Again, 1974. We've got the stereo version on a promo copy with one of those wonderful mono versions on the B side. And since I haven't said it recently, I'll explain why you had singles with mono on one side and stereo on the other, especially on promo copies. These were for the radio stations. AM could only play mono, so they would play the mono versions, and FM was stereo, so they would play those stereo versions. So a lot of those promo copies that are mono and stereo of the same song, it may not be just a fold down of the stereo into mono, though. Sometimes they were exclusively remixed, and sometimes even re-recorded for the mono version. So you can listen to that stereo and flip it over and listen to the mono, and you might hear some different things, or different instruments in the mix will stand out more because they were specifically made. Some of them, yes, are just folds downs. They just blended the two stereo channels into one and made it a mono version. But that's not always the case. Sometimes those mono versions are special. So here we've got a free educational promotional record, not for sale, from the theme from Romeo and Juliet by John Bernhal. So interesting, on Charles Hanson's Educational Music and Books label. And the B side of that is the theme from Romeo and Juliet. It says side 2, it's in stereo, but side 1 was in stereo as well. You got a time at 2:30 here and a time of 2:52 there. So rather interesting. The same song, same band, same artist, two different sides, two different times. So we'd have to listen to that to see what actually is different there. What actually makes that unique. And for some of you drama film fans out there, here's the theme from Love Story, which I've never seen. I picked up a copy of it a few months back. I still haven't gotten around to watching it, but it's an immensely famous movie, and Ryan O'Neal and I think Ally McGraw, but something I definitely should give a listen and a watch. But Henry Mancini, I've definitely heard of Henry Mancini. And the flip side of this one is a song called Phone Call to the Past. So that could be interesting to give a listen to as well. So we're going to be wrapping this up soon. We've got an A side here, Ed Bruce doing If It Was Easy, with a B side of You've Got Her Eyes, neither of which comes to my mind whatsoever. So, and this will probably be the last one we're going to show today. The Mercedes, you pronounce it for me. Touch the Wind. Can't even pronounce that right. So B-side is the exact same thing. Both sides stereo. So again, 312 and 312. So it looks like that's identical on both. All right, that wraps it up. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back again sometime.